Chapter 10. In the ward at the field hospital, they told me a visitor was coming to see me in the afternoon. It was a hot day and there were many flies in the room. My orderly had cut paper into strips and tied the strips to a stick to make a brush that swished the flies away. I watched them settle on the ceiling. When he stopped swishing and fell asleep, they came down, and I blew them away and finally covered my face with my hands and slept, too. It was very hot, and when I woke, my legs itched. I waked the orderly, and he poured mineral water on the dressings. That made the bed damp and cool. Those of us that were awake talked across the ward. The afternoon was a quiet time. In the morning they came to each bed in turn, 3 men nurses and a doctor, and picked you up out of bed and carried you into the dressing room so that the beds could be made while we were having our wounds dressed. It was not a pleasant trip to the dressing room, and I did not know until later that beds could be made with men in them. My orderly had finished pouring water, and the bed felt cool and lovely, and I was telling him where to scratch on the soles of my feet against the itching when one of the doctors brought in Rinaldi. He came in very fast and bent down over the bed and kissed me. I saw he wore gloves. "How are you, baby? How do you feel? I bring you this." It was a bottle of cognac. The orderly brought a chair, and he sat down. "And good news. You will be decorated. They want to get you the medaglia d'argento. But perhaps they can only get the bronze." "What for?" "Because you were gravely wounded. They say if you can prove you did any heroic act, you can get the silver. Otherwise it will be the bronze. Tell me exactly what happened. Did you do any heroic act?" "No," I said. "I was blown up while we were eating cheese." "Be serious. You must have done something heroic either before or after. Remember carefully." "I did not." "Didn't you carry anybody on your back? Gordini says you carried several people on your back, but the medical major at the first post declares it is impossible. He has to sign the proposition for the citation." "I didn't carry anyone. I couldn't move." "That doesn't matter," said Rinaldi. He took off his gloves. "I think we can get you the silver. Didn't you refuse to be medically aided before the others?" "Not very firmly." "That doesn't matter. Look how you were wounded. Look at your valorous conduct in asking to go always to the first line. Besides, the operation was successful." "Did they cross the river all right?" "Enormously. They take nearly 1,000 prisoners. It's in the bulletin. Didn't you see it?" "No." "I'll bring it to you. It is a successful coup de main." "How is everything?" "Splendid. We are all splendid. Everybody is proud of you. Tell me just exactly how it happened. I am positive you will get the silver. Go on, tell me. Tell me all about it." He paused and thought, "Maybe you will get an English medal, too." There was an English there. "I'll go and see him and ask if he will recommend you. He ought to be able to do something. Do you suffer much? Have a drink. Orderly, go get a corkscrew." "Oh, you should see what I did in the removal of 3 meters of small intestine, and better now than ever. It is one for the Lancet. You do me a translation, I will send it to the Lancet. Every day I am better. Poor dear baby, how do you feel? Where's that damn corkscrew? You are so brave and quiet, I forget you are suffering." He slapped his gloves on the edge of the bed. "Here is the corkscrew, Signor Tenente," the orderly said. "Open the bottle. Bring a glass. Drink that, baby. How is your poor head? I looked at your papers. You haven't any fracture. That major at the first post was a hog butcher. I would take you and never hurt you. I never hurt anybody. I learned how to do it. Every day I learn to do things smoother and better. You must forgive me for talking so much, baby. I am very moved to see you badly wounded. There, drink that. It's good. It cost 15 lire. It ought to be good. 5 stars. After I leave here, I'll go to see that English, and he'll get you an English medal. They don't give them like that. You are so modest. I will send the liaison officer. He can handle the English." "Have you seen Miss Barkley?" "I will bring her here. I will go now and bring her here." "Don't go," I said. "Tell me about Gorizia. How are the girls?" "There are no girls. For 2 weeks now they haven't changed them. I don't go there any more. It is disgraceful. They aren't girls. They are old war comrades." "You don't go at all?" "I just go to see if there is anything new. I stop by. They all ask for you. It is a disgrace that they should stay so long that they become friends. Maybe girls don't want to go to the front any more. Of course they do. They have plenty of girls. It is just bad administration. They are keeping them for the pleasure of dugout hiders in the rear. Poor Rinaldi, I said, all alone at the war with no new girls. Rinaldi poured himself another glass of the cognac. I don't think it will hurt you, baby. You take it. I drank the cognac and felt it warm all the way down. Rinaldi poured another glass. He was quieter now. He held up the glass. To your valorous wounds, to the silver medal. Tell me, baby, when you lie here all the time in the hot weather, don't you get excited? Sometimes. I can't imagine lying like that. I would go crazy. You are crazy. I wish you were back. No one to come in at night from adventures. No one to make fun of. No one to lend me money. No blood brother and roommate. Why do you get yourself wounded? You can make fun of the priest. That priest. It isn't me that makes fun of him. It is the captain. I like him. If you must have a priest, have that priest. He's coming to see you. He makes big preparations. I like him. Oh, I knew it. Sometimes I think you and he are a little that way, you know? No, you don't. Yes, I do sometimes. A little that way, like the number of the 1st Regiment of the Brigata Ancona. Go to hell. He stood up and put on the gloves. Oh, I love to tease you, baby, with your priest and your English girl. And really, you are just like me underneath. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. You are really an Italian, all fire and smoke and nothing inside. You only pretend to be American. We are brothers, and we love each other. Be good while I'm gone, I said. I will send Miss Barkley. You are better with her without me. You are purer and sweeter. Oh, go to hell. I will send her. Your lovely, cool goddess. English goddess. My God, what would a man do with a woman like that except worship her? What else is an English woman good for? You are an ignorant, foul-mouthed dago. A what? An ignorant wop. You are a frozen-faced wop. You are ignorant, stupid. I saw that word, pricked him, and kept on. Uninformed, inexperienced, stupid from inexperience. Truly? I tell you something about your good women, your goddesses. There's only one difference between taking a girl who has always been good and a woman. With a girl it is painful. That's all I know. He slapped the bed with his glove. And you never know if the girl will really like it. Don't get angry. I'm not angry. I just tell you, baby, for your own good, to save you trouble. That's the only difference? Yes, but millions of fools like you don't know it. You are sweet to tell me. We won't quarrel, baby. I love you too much, but don't be a fool. No, I'll be wise like you. Don't be angry, baby. Laugh. Take a drink. I must go, really. You're a good old boy. Now you see. Underneath we are the same. We are war brothers. Kiss me goodbye. You are sloppy. No, I am just more affectionate. I felt his breath come toward me. Goodbye. I come to see you again soon. His breath went away. I won't kiss you if you don't want. I'll send your English girl. Goodbye, baby. The cognac is under the bed. Get well soon. He was gone. Chapter 11. It was dusk when the priest came. They had brought the soup and afterwards taken away the bowls, and I was lying looking at the rows of beds and out the window at the treetop that moved a little in the evening breeze. The breeze came in through the window, and it was cooler with the evening. The flies were on the ceiling now, and on the electric light bulbs that hung on wires. The lights were only turned on when someone was brought in at night, or when something was being done. It made me feel very young to have the dark come after the dusk and then remain. It was like being put to bed after early supper. The orderly came down between the beds and stopped. Someone was with him. It was the priest. He stood there, small, brown-faced, and embarrassed. "How do you do?" he asked. He put some packages down by the bed, on the floor. "All right, Father." He sat down in the chair that had been brought for Rinaldi and looked out of the window embarrassedly. I noticed his face looked very tired. "I can only stay a minute," he said. "It is late." "It's not late. How is the mess?" He smiled. "I'm still a great joke." He sounded tired, too. "Thank God they're all well." "I'm so glad you are all right," he said. "I hope you don't suffer." He seemed very tired, and I was not used to seeing him tired. Not any more. I miss you at the mess. I wish I were there. I always enjoyed our talking." "I brought you a few little things," he said. He picked up the packages. "This is mosquito netting. This is a bottle of vermouth. You like vermouth? These are English papers. Please open them." He was pleased and undid them. I held the mosquito netting in my hands. The vermouth he held up for me to see, and then put it on the floor beside the bed. I held up one of these sheaf of English papers. I could read the headlines by turning it so the half-light from the window was on it. It was the news of the world. "The others are illustrated," he said. "It will be a great happiness to read them. Where did you get them?" "I sent for them to Mestre. I will have more." "You are very good to come, Father. Will you drink a glass of vermouth?" "Thank you. You keep it. It's for you. No, drink a glass." "All right. I will bring you more then." The orderly brought the glasses and opened the bottle. He broke off the cork, and the end had to be shoved down into the bottle. I could see the priest was disappointed, but he said, "That's all right. It's no matter." "Here's to your health, Father." "To your better health." Afterwards he held the glass in his hand, and we looked at one another. Sometimes we talked and were good friends, but tonight it was difficult. "What's the matter, Father? You seem very tired." "I am tired, but I have no right to be." "It's the heat." "No, this is only the spring. I feel very low." "You have the war disgust." "No, but I hate the war. I don't enjoy it," I said. He shook his head and looked out at the window. "You do not mind it. You do not see it. You must forgive me. I know you are wounded." "That is an accident." "Still, even wounded, you do not see it. I can tell. I do not see it myself, but I feel it a little. When I was wounded, we were talking about it. Passini was talking." The priest put down the glass. He was thinking about something else. "I know them because I am like they are," he said. "You are different, though. But really I am like they are." "The officers don't see anything." "Some of them do. Some are very delicate and feel worse than any of us. They are mostly different. It is not education or money. It is something else. Even if they had education or money, men like Passini would not wish to be officers. I would not be an officer." "You rank as an officer." "I am an officer." "I'm not really. You are not even an Italian. You are a foreigner, but you are nearer the officers than you are to the men." "What is the difference?" "I cannot say it easily. There are people who would make war. In this country there are many like that. There are other people who would not make war. But the first ones make them do it." "Yes." "And I help them." "You are a foreigner. You are a patriot. And the ones who would not make war, can they stop it?" "I do not know." He looked out of the window again. I watched his face. "Have they ever been able to stop it?" "They are not organized to stop things, and when they get organized, their leaders sell them out." "Then it's hopeless?" "It is never hopeless, but sometimes I cannot hope. I try always to hope, but sometimes I cannot. Maybe the war will be over." "I hope so." "What will you do then?" "If it is possible, I will return to the Abruzzi." His brown face was suddenly very happy. "You love the Abruzzi?" "Yes, I love it very much." "You ought to go there, then." "I would be too happy. If I could live there and love God and serve Him." "And be respected," I said. "Yes, and be respected. Why not?" "No reason not. You should be respected." "It does not matter. But there in my country it is understood that a man may love God. It is not a dirty joke." "I understand." He looked at me and smiled. "You understand, but you do not love God." "No." "You do not love Him at all?" he asked. "I'm afraid of Him in the night sometimes." "You should love Him." "I don't love much." "Yes," he said, "you do. What you tell me about in the nights, that is not love, that is only passion and lust. When you love, you wish to do things for. You wish to sacrifice for. You wish to serve." "I don't love." "You will, I know you will. Then you will be happy." I'm happy. I've always been happy. It is another thing. You cannot know about it unless you have it. Well, I said, if I ever get it, I will tell you. I stayed too long and talked too much. He was worried that he really did. No, don't go. How about loving women? If I really loved some woman, would it be like that? I don't know about that. I never loved any woman. What about your mother? Yes, I must have loved my mother. Did you always love God? Ever since I was a little boy. Well, I said, I did not know what to say. You are a fine boy, I said. I am a boy, he said, but you call me father. That's politeness. He smiled. I must go, really, he said. You do not want me for anything? He asked hopefully. No, just to talk. I will take your greetings to the mess. Thank you for the many fine presents. Nothing. Come and see me again. Yes, goodbye. He patted my hand. So long, I said in dialect. Ciao, he repeated. It was dark in the room, and the orderly, who had sat by the foot of the bed, got up and went out with him. I liked him very much, and I hoped he would get back to the Abruzzi sometime. He had a rotten life in the mess, and he was fine about it, but I thought how he would be in his own country, at Cabracota. He had told me there were trout in the stream below the town. It was forbidden to play the flute at night. When the young men serenaded, only the flute was forbidden. Why, I had asked. Because it was bad for the girls to hear the flute at night. The peasants all called you Don, and when you met them they took off their hats. His father hunted every day, and stopped to eat at the houses of peasants. They were always honored. For a foreigner to hunt he must present a certificate that he had never been arrested. There were bears on the Gran Sasso d'Italia, but it was a long way. Aquilo was a fine town. It was cool in the summer at night, and the spring in Abruzzi was the most beautiful in Italy. But what was lovely was the fall, to go hunting through the chestnut woods. The birds were all good because they fed on grapes, and you never took a lunch because the peasants were always honored if you would eat with them at their houses. After a while I went to sleep. Chapter 12. The room was long with windows on the right-hand side, and a door at the far end that went into the dressing room. The row of beds that mine was in faced the windows, and another row, under the windows, faced the wall. If you lay on your left side, you could see the dressing-room door. There was another door at the far end that people sometimes came in by. If anyone were going to die, they put a screen around the bed, so you could not see them die, but only the shoes and puttees of doctors and men nurses showed under the bottom of the screen, and sometimes at the end there would be whispering. Then the priest would come out from behind the screen, and afterward the men nurses would go back behind the screen to come out again, carrying the one who was dead with a blanket over him, down the corridor between the beds, and someone folded the screen and took it away. That morning the major in charge of the ward asked me if I felt that I could travel the next day. I said I could. He said then that they would ship me out early in the morning. He said I would be better off making the trip now before it got too hot. When they lifted you up out of the bed to carry you into the dressing room, you could look out of the window and see the new graves in the garden. A soldier sat outside the door that opened onto the garden, making crosses and painting on them the names, rank, and regiment of the men who were buried in the garden. He also ran errands for the ward, and in his spare time made me a cigarette lighter out of an empty Austrian rifle cartridge. The doctors were very nice and seemed very capable. They were anxious to ship me to Milan, where there were better X-ray facilities, and where, after the operation, I could take mechanotherapy. I wanted to go to Milan too. They wanted to get us all out and back as far as possible, because all the beds were needed for the offensive when it should start. The night before I left the field hospital, Rinaldi came in to see me with the major from our mess. They said that I would go to an American hospital in Milan that had just been installed. Some American ambulance units were to be sent down, and this hospital would look after them and any other Americans on service in Italy. There were many in the Red Cross. The States had declared war on Germany, but not on Austria. The Italians were sure America would declare war on Austria, too, and they were very excited about any Americans coming down, even the Red Cross. They asked me if I thought President Wilson would declare war on Austria, and I said it was only a matter of days. I did not know what we had against Austria, but it seemed logical that they should declare war on her if they did on Germany. They asked me if we would declare war on Turkey. I said that was doubtful. Turkey, I said, was our national bird, but the joke translated so badly, and they were so puzzled and suspicious that I said yes, we would probably declare war on Turkey. And on Bulgaria? We had drunk several glasses of brandy, and I said yes, by God, on Bulgaria too, and on Japan. But they said Japan is an ally of England. You can't trust the bloody English. The Japanese want Hawaii, I said. Where is Hawaii? It is in the Pacific Ocean. Why did the Japanese want it? They don't really want it, I said. That is all talk. The Japanese are a wonderful little people fond of dancing and light wines. Like the French, said the Major. We will get Nice and Savoia from the French. We will get Corsica and all the Adriatic coastline, Rinaldi said. Italy will return to the splendors of Rome, said the Major. I don't like Rome, I said. It is hot and full of fleas. You don't like Rome? Yes, I love Rome. Rome is the mother of nations. I will never forget Romulus suckling the Tiber. What? Nothing. Let's all go to Rome. Let's go to Rome tonight and never come back. Rome is a beautiful city, said the Major. The mother and father of nations, I said. Roma is feminine, said Rinaldi. It cannot be the father. Who is the father, then? The Holy Ghost? Don't blaspheme. I wasn't blaspheming. I was asking for information. You're drunk, baby. Who made me drunk? I made you drunk, said the Major. I made you drunk because I love you and because America is in the war. Up to the hilt, I said. You go away in the morning, baby, Rinaldi said. To Rome, I said. No, to Milan. To Milan, said the Major. To the Crystal Palace. To the Cova. To Campari's. To Biffi's. To the Galleria. You lucky boy. To the Gran Italia, I said, where I will borrow money from George. To the Scala, said Rinaldi. You will go to the Scala. Every night, I said. You won't be able to afford it every night, said the Major. The tickets are very expensive. I will draw a sight draft on my grandfather, I said. A what? A sight draft. He has to pay or I go to jail. Mr. Cunningham at the bank does it. I live by sight drafts. Can a grandfather jail a patriotic grandson who is dying that Italy may live? Live the American Garibaldi, said Rinaldi. Viva the sight drafts, I said. We must be quiet, said the Major. Already we have been asked many times to be quiet. Do you go tomorrow, really, Federico? He goes to the American hospital, I tell you, Rinaldi said. To the beautiful nurses. Not the nurses with beards of the field hospital. Yes, yes, said the Major. I know he goes to the American hospital. I don't mind their beards, I said. If any man wants to raise a beard, let him. Why don't you raise a beard, Signor Maggiore? It could not go in a gas mask. Yes, it could. Anything can go in a gas mask. I vomited into a gas mask. Don't be so loud, baby, Rinaldi said. We all know you have been to the front. Oh, you fine baby, what will I do while you are gone? You must go, said the Major. This becomes sentimental. Listen, I have a surprise for you. You're English? You know, the English you go to see every night at their hospital? She is going to Milan, too. She goes with another to be at the American hospital. They had not got nurses yet from America. I talked today with the head of the Reparto. They have too many women here at the front. They send some back. How do you like that, baby? All right. Yes? You go to live in a big city and have your English there to cuddle you. Why don't I get wounded? Maybe you will, I said. We must go, said the Major. We drink and make noise and disturb Federico. Don't go. Yes, we must go. Goodbye. Good luck. Many things. Ciao. 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 Come back quickly, baby. Rinaldi kissed me. You smell of Lysol. Goodbye, baby. Goodbye. Many things. The Major patted my shoulder. They tiptoed out. I found I was quite drunk, but went to sleep. The next day in the morning we left for Milan and arrived 48 hours later. It was a bad trip. We were sidetracked for a long time this side of Mestre, and children came and peeked in. I got a little boy to go for a bottle of cognac, but he came back and said he could only get grappa. I told him to get it, and when it came I gave him the change and the man beside me, and I got drunk, and slept until past Vicenza, where I woke up and was very sick on the floor. It did not matter, because the men on that side had been very sick on the floor several times before. Afterward I thought I could not stand the thirst, and in the yards outside of Verona I called to a soldier who was walking up and down beside the train, and he got me a drink of water. I woke Giorgetti, the other boy who was drunk, and offered him some water. He said to pour it on his shoulder, and went back to sleep. The soldier would not take the penny I offered him, and brought me a pulpy orange. I sucked on that and spit out the pith, and watched the soldier pass up and down past a freight car outside, and after a while the train gave a jerk and started. Chapter 13. We got into Milan early in the morning, and they unloaded us in the freight yard. An ambulance took me to the American hospital. Riding in the ambulance on a stretcher, I could not tell what part of town we were passing through, but when they unloaded the stretcher, I saw a marketplace and an open wine shop with a girl sweeping out. They were watering the street, and it smelled of the early morning. They put the stretcher down and went in. The porter came out with them. He had gray mustaches, wore a doorman's cap, and was in his shirt sleeves. The stretcher would not go into the elevator, and they discussed whether it was better to lift me off the stretcher and go up in the elevator, or carry the stretcher up the stairs. I listened to them discussing it. They decided on the elevator. They lifted me from the stretcher. "Go easy," I said. "Take it softly." In the elevator we were crowded, and as my legs bent the pain was very bad. "Straighten out my legs," I said. "We can't, Signor Tenente. There isn't room." The man who said this had his arm around me, and my arm was around his neck. His breath came in my face, metallic with garlic and red wine. "Be gentle," the other man said. "Son of a bitch, who isn't gentle?" "Be gentle, I say," the man with my feet repeated. I saw the doors of the elevator closed, and the grill shut, and the fourth floor button pushed by the porter. The porter looked worried. The elevator rose slowly. "Heavy?" I asked the man with the garlic. "Nothing," he said. His face was sweating, and he grunted. The elevator rose steadily and stopped. The man holding the feet opened the door and stepped out. We were on a balcony. There were several doors with brass knobs. The man carrying the feet pushed a button that rang a bell. We heard it inside the doors. No one came. Then the porter came up the stairs. "Where are they?" the stretcher-bearers asked. "I don't know," said the porter. "They sleep downstairs." "Get somebody." The porter rang the bell, then knocked on the door. Then he opened the door and went in. When he came back there was an elderly woman wearing glasses with him. Her hair was loose and half falling, and she wore a nurse's dress. "I can't understand," she said. "I can't understand Italian." "I can speak English," I said. "They want to put me somewhere." "None of the rooms are ready. There isn't any patient expected." She tucked at her hair and looked at me near-sightedly. "Show them any room where they can put me." "I don't know," she said. "There's no patient expected. I couldn't put you in just any room." "Any room will do," I said. Then to the porter in Italian, "Find an empty room." "They're all empty," said the porter. "You are the first patient." He held his cap in his hand and looked at the elderly nurse. "For Christ's sweet sake, take me to some room." The pain had gone on and on with the legs bent, and I could feel it going in and out of the bone. The porter went in the door, followed by the gray-haired woman, then came hurrying back. "Follow me," he said. They carried me down a long hallway and into a room with drawn blinds. It smelled of new furniture. There was a bed and a big wardrobe with a mirror. They laid me down on the bed. "I can't put on sheets," the woman said. "The sheets are locked up." I did not speak to her. "There is money in my pocket," I said to the porter. "In the button-down pocket." The porter took out the money. The two stretcher-bearers stood beside the bed holding their caps. "Give them 5 lire apiece and 5 lire for yourself. My papers are in the other pocket. You may give them to the nurse." The stretcher-bearers saluted and said thank you. "Goodbye," I said, "and many thanks." They saluted again and went out. "Those papers," I said to the nurse, "describe my case and the treatment already given." The woman picked them up and looked at them through her glasses. There were 3 papers, and they were folded. "I don't know what to do," she said. "I can't read Italian. I can't do anything without the doctor's orders." She commenced to cry and put the papers in her apron pocket. "Are you an American?" she asked, crying. "Yes. Please put the papers on the table by the bed." It was dim and cool in the room. As I lay on the bed, I could see the big mirror on the other side of the room, but could not see what it reflected. The porter stood by the bed. He had a nice face and was very kind. "You can go," I said to him. "You can go too," I said to the nurse. "What is your name?" "Mrs. Walker." "You can go, Mrs. Walker. I think I will go to sleep." I was alone in the room. It was cool and did not smell like a hospital. The mattress was firm and comfortable, and I lay without moving, hardly breathing, happy and feeling the pain lessen. After a while I wanted a drink of water, and found the bell on a cord by the bed, and rang it, but nobody came. I went to sleep. When I woke, I looked around. There was sunlight coming in through the shutters. I saw the big armoire, the bare walls, the 2 chairs, my legs and the dirty bandages, stuck straight out in the bed. I was careful not to move them. I was thirsty, and I reached for the bell and pushed the button. I heard the door open, and looked, and it was a nurse. She looked young and pretty. "Good morning," I said. "Good morning," she said, and came over to the bed. "We haven't been able to get the doctor. He's gone to Lake Como. No one knew there was a patient coming. What's wrong with you, anyway?" "I'm wounded, in the legs and feet, and my head is hurt." "What's your name?" "Henry. Frederic Henry." "I'll wash you up, but we can't do anything to the dressings until the doctor comes." "Is Miss Barkley here?" "No, there's no one by that name here." "Who was the woman who cried when I came in?" The nurse laughed. "That's Mrs. Walker. She was on night duty, and she'd been asleep. She wasn't expecting anyone." While we were talking, she was undressing me, and when I was undressed, except for the bandages, she washed me, very gently and smoothly. The washing felt very good. There was a bandage on my head, but she washed all around the edge. "Where were you wounded?" "On the Isonzo, north of Plava." "Where is that?" "North of Gorizia." I could see that none of the places meant anything to her. "Do you have a lot of pain?" "No, not much now." She put a thermometer in my mouth. "The Italians put it under the arm," I said. "Don't talk." When she took the thermometer out, she read it and then shook it. "What's the temperature?" "You're not supposed to know that." "Tell me what it is." "It's almost normal. I never have any fever. My legs are full of old iron, too." "What do you mean?" "They're full of trench mortar fragments, old screws and bed springs and things." She shook her head and smiled. "If you had any foreign bodies in your legs, they would set up an inflammation, and you'd have fever." "All right," I said. "We'll see what comes out." She went out of the room and came back with the old nurse of the early morning. Together they made the bed with me in it. That was new to me, and an admirable proceeding. "Who is in charge here?" "Miss Van Campen." "How many nurses are there?" "Just us 2. "Won't there be more?" "Some more are coming." "When will they get here?" "I don't know. You ask a great many questions for a sick boy." "I'm not sick," I said. "I'm wounded." They had finished making the bed, and I lay with a clean, smooth sheet under me and another sheet over me. Mrs. Walker went out and came back with a pajama jacket. They put that on me, and I felt very clean and dressed. "You're awfully nice to me," I said. The nurse, called Mrs. Gage, giggled. "Could I have a drink of water?" I asked. "Certainly. Then you can have breakfast." "I don't want breakfast." "Can I have the shutters open, please?" The light had been dim in the room, and when the shutters were opened it was bright sunlight, and I looked out on a balcony, and beyond were the tile roofs of houses and chimneys. I looked out over the tiled roofs and saw white clouds, and the sky very blue. "Don't you know when the other nurses are coming?" "Why, don't we take good care of you?" "You're very nice." "Would you like to use the bedpan?" I might try. They helped me and held me up, but it was not any use. Afterward I lay and looked out the open doors onto the balcony. When does the doctor come? When he gets back, we've tried to telephone to Lake Como for him. Aren't there any other doctors? He's the doctor for the hospital. Miss Gage brought a pitcher of water and a glass. I drank 3 glasses, and then they left me, and I looked out the window a while and went back to sleep. I ate some lunch, and in the afternoon Miss Van Campen, the superintendent, came up to see me. She did not like me, and I did not like her. She was small and neatly suspicious, and too good for her position. She asked many questions and seemed to think it was somewhat disgraceful that I was with the Italians. "Can I have wine with the meals?" I asked her. "Only if the doctor prescribes it." "I can't have it until he comes?" "Absolutely not." "You plan on having him come eventually?" "We've telephoned him at Lake Como." She went out, and Miss Gage came back. "Why were you rude to Miss Van Campen?" she asked after she had done something for me very skillfully. "I didn't mean to be, but she was snooty." "She said you were domineering and rude." "I wasn't, but what's the idea of a hospital without a doctor? He's coming. They've telephoned for him to Lake Como." "What does he do there? Swim?" "No, he has a clinic there." "Why don't they get another doctor?" "Hush, hush, be a good boy and he'll come." I sent for the porter, and when he came I told him in Italian to get me a bottle of Cinzano at the wine shop, a fiasco of Chianti, and the evening papers. He went away and brought them wrapped in newspaper, unwrapped them, and when I asked him to, drew the corks and put the wine and vermouth under the bed. They left me alone, and I lay in bed and read the papers a while, the news from the front, and the list of dead officers with their decorations, and then reached down and brought up the bottle of Cinzano and held it straight up on my stomach, the cool glass against my stomach, and took little drinks, making rings on my stomach from holding the bottle there between drinks, and watched it get dark outside over the roofs of the town. The swallows circled around, and I watched them and the nighthawks flying above the roofs and drank the Cinzano. Miss Gage brought up a glass with some eggnog in it. I lowered the vermouth bottle to the other side of the bed when she came in. "Miss Van Campen had some sherry put in this," she said. "You shouldn't be rude to her. She's not young, and this hospital is a big responsibility for her. Mrs. Walker's too old, and she's no use to her." "She's a splendid woman," I said. "Thank her very much." "I'm going to bring your supper right away." "That's all right," I said. "I'm not hungry." When she brought the tray and put it on the bed table, I thanked her, and ate a little of the supper. Afterward it was dark outside, and I could see the beams of the searchlights moving in the sky. I watched for a while, and then went to sleep. I slept heavily, except once I woke sweating and scared, and then went back to sleep trying to stay outside of my dream. I woke for good long before it was light, and heard roosters crowing, and stayed on awake until it began to be light. I was tired, and once it was really light I went back to sleep again. Chapter 14. It was bright sunlight in the room when I woke. I thought I was back at the front, and stretched out in bed. My legs hurt me, and I looked down at them, still in the dirty bandages, and seeing them knew where I was. I reached up for the bell cord and pushed the button. I heard it buzz down the hall, and then someone coming on rubber soles along the hall. It was Miss Gage, and she looked a little older in the bright sunlight, and not so pretty. "Good morning," she said. "Did you have a good night?" "Yes, thanks very much," I said. "Can I have a barber?" "I came in to see you, and you were asleep with this in the bed with you." She opened the armoire door and held up the vermouth bottle. It was nearly empty. "I put the other bottle from under the bed in there, too," she said. "Why didn't you ask me for a glass?" "I thought maybe you wouldn't let me have it." "I'd have had some with you." "You're a fine girl." "It isn't good for you to drink alone," she said. "You mustn't do it." "All right." "Your friend Miss Barkley's come," she said. "Really?" "Yes, I don't like her." "You will like her. She's awfully nice." She shook her head. "I'm sure she's fine. Can you move just a little to this side? That's fine. I'll clean you up for breakfast." She washed me with a cloth and soap and warm water. "Hold your shoulder up," she said. "That's fine." Can I have the barber before breakfast?" "I'll send the porter for him." She went out and came back. "He's gone for him," she said, and dipped the cloth she held in the basin of water. The barber came with a porter. He was a man about 50 with an upturned mustache. Miss Gage was finished with me and went out, and the barber lathered my face and shaved. He was very solemn and refrained from talking. "What's the matter? Don't you know any news?" I asked. "What news?" "Any news. What's happened in the town?" "It is time of war," he said. "The enemy's ears are everywhere." I looked up at him. "Please hold your face still," he said, and went on shaving. "I will tell you nothing." "What's the matter with you?" I asked. "I am an Italian. I will not communicate with the enemy." I let it go at that. If he was crazy, the sooner I would get out from under the razor, the better. Once I tried to get a good look at him. "Beware," he said. "The razor is sharp." I paid him when it was over, and tipped him half a lira. He returned the coins. "I will not. I am not at the front, but I'm an Italian. Get the hell out of here." "With your permission," he said, and wrapped his razors in newspaper. He went out, leaving the 5 copper coins on the table beside the bed. I rang the bell. Miss Gage came in. "Would you ask the porter to come, please?" "All right." The porter came in. He was trying to keep from laughing. "Is that barber crazy?" "No, signorino. He made a mistake. He doesn't understand very well, and he thought I said you were an Austrian officer." "Oh," I said. "Ho, ho, ho!" The porter laughed. It was funny. "One move from you," he said, "and he would have had—" He drew his forefinger across his throat. "Oh, he tried to keep from laughing when I tell him you were not an Austrian." "Ha, ha, ha!" "Ho, ho, ho!" I said bitterly. "How funny if he would cut my throat. Ho, ho, ho! No, signorino, no, no. He was so frightened of an Austrian." "Ho, ho, ho!" I said. "Get out of here." He went out, and I heard him laughing in the hall. I heard someone coming down the hallway. I looked toward the door. It was Catherine Barkley. She came in the room and over to the bed. "Hello, darling," she said. She looked fresh and young and very beautiful. I thought I had never seen anyone so beautiful. "Hello," I said. When I saw her, I was in love with her. Everything turned over inside of me. She looked toward the door, saw there was no one. Then she sat on the side of the bed and leaned over and kissed me. I pulled her down and kissed her and felt her heart beating. "You're sweet," I said. "Weren't you wonderful to come here?" "It wasn't very hard. It may be hard to stay." "You've got to stay," I said. "Oh, you're wonderful. I was crazy about her. I could not believe she was really there and holding her tight to me." "You mustn't," she said. "You're not well enough." "Yes, I am. Come on." "No, you're not strong enough." "Yes, I am. Yes, please." "You do love me." "I really love you. I'm crazy about you. Come on, please." "Feel our hearts beating." "I don't care about our hearts. I want you. I'm just mad about you." "You really love me." "Don't keep on saying that. Come on, please. Please, Catherine." "All right, but only for a minute." "All right," I said. "Shut the door." "You can't. You shouldn't. Come on, don't talk. Please come on." Catherine sat in a chair by the bed. The door was open into the hall. The wildness was gone, and I felt finer than I had ever felt. She asked, "Now, do you believe I love you?" "Oh, you're lovely," I said. "You've got to stay. They can't send you away. I'm crazy in love with you." "We'll have to be awfully careful. That was just madness. You can't do that." "We can at night." "We'll have to be awfully careful. You'll have to be careful in front of other people." "I will." "You'll have to be. You're sweet. You do love me, don't you? Don't say that again. You don't know what that does to me." "I'll be careful, then." "And I don't want to do anything more to you. I have to go now, darling, really. Come back right away. I'll come back when I can. Goodbye. Goodbye, sweet." She went out. God knows I had not wanted to fall in love with her. I had not wanted to fall in love with anyone. But God knows I had, and I lay on the bed in the room of the hospital in Milan, and all sorts of things went through my head. But I felt wonderful, and finally Miss Gage came in. "The doctor's coming," she said. "He telephoned from Lake Como. When does he get here?" "He'll be here this afternoon." Chapter 15. Nothing happened until afternoon. The doctor was a thin, quiet little man who seemed disturbed by the war. He took out a number of small steel splinters from my thighs with delicate and refined distaste. He used a local anesthetic called something or other snow, which froze the tissue, and avoided pain until the probe, the scalpel or the forceps, got below the frozen portion. The anesthetized area was clearly defined by the patient, and after a time the doctor's fragile delicacy was exhausted, and he said it would be better to have an X-ray. Probing was unsatisfactory, he said. The X-ray was taken at the Ospedale Maggiore, and the doctor who did it was excitable, efficient, and cheerful. It was arranged by holding up the shoulders that the patient should see personally some of the larger foreign bodies through the machine. The plates were to be sent over. The doctor requested me to write in his pocket notebook my name and my regiment, and some sentiment. He declared that the foreign bodies were ugly, nasty, brutal. The Austrians were sons of bitches. How many had I killed? I'd not killed any, but I was anxious to please, and I said I had killed plenty. Miss Gage was with me, and the doctor put his arm around her and said she was more beautiful than Cleopatra. Did she understand that? Cleopatra, the former queen of Egypt. Yes, by God, she was. We returned to the little hospital in the ambulance, and after a while and much lifting I was upstairs and in bed again. The plates came that afternoon. The doctor had said, by God, he would have them that afternoon, and he did. Catherine Barkley showed them to me. They were in red envelopes, and she took them out of the envelopes and held them up to the light, and we both looked. "That's your right leg," she said, then put the plate back in the envelope. "This is your left." "Put them away," I said, "and come over to the bed." "I can't," she said. "I just brought them in for a second to show you." She went out, and I lay there. It was a hot afternoon, and I was sick of lying in bed. I sent the porter for the papers, all the papers he could get. Before he came back, 3 doctors came into the room. I've noticed that doctors who fail in the practice of medicine have a tendency to seek one another's company and aid in consultation. A doctor who cannot take out your appendix properly will recommend to you a doctor who will be unable to remove your tonsils with success. These were 3 such doctors. "This is the young man," said the house doctor with the delicate hands. "How do you do?" said the tall, gaunt doctor with the beard. The 3rd doctor, who carried the X-ray plates in their red envelopes, said nothing. "Remove the dressings?" questioned the bearded doctor. "Certainly. Remove the dressings, please, nurse," the house doctor said to Miss Gage. Miss Gage removed the dressings. I looked down at the legs. At the field hospital they had the look of not too freshly ground hamburger steak. Now they were crusted, and the knee was swollen and discolored, and the calf sunken, but there was no pus. "Very clean," said the house doctor. "Very clean and nice." Said the doctor with the beard. The 3rd doctor looked over the house doctor's shoulder. "Please move the knee," said the bearded doctor. "I can't." "Test the articulation?" the bearded doctor questioned. He had a stripe beside the 3 stars on his sleeve. That meant he was a first captain. "Certainly," the house doctor said. 2 of them took hold of my right leg very gingerly and bent it. "That hurts," I said. Yes, a little further, doctor." "That's enough. That's as far as it goes," I said. "Partial articulation," said the first captain. He straightened up. "May I see the plates again, please, doctor?" The 3rd doctor handed him one of the plates. "No, the left leg, please." "That is the left leg, doctor." "You are right. I was looking from a different angle." He returned the plate. The other plate he examined for some time. "You see, doctor," he pointed to one of the foreign bodies, which showed spherical and clear against the light. They examined the plate for some time. "Only one thing I can say," the first captain with the beard said. "It is a question of time. 3 months, 6 months probably." "Certainly the synovial fluid must reform." "Certainly, it is a question of time. I could not conscientiously open a knee like that before the projectile was insisted." "I agree with you, doctor." 6 months for what?" I asked. 6 months for the projectile to insist before the knee can be opened safely." "I don't believe it," I said. "Do you want to keep your knee, young man?" "No," I said. "What?" "I want it cut off," I said, "so I can wear a hook on it." "What do you mean, a hook?" "He is joking," said the house doctor. He patted my shoulder very delicately. "He wants to keep his knee. This is a very brave young man. He has been proposed for the Silver Medal of Valor." "All my felicitations," said the first captain. He shook my hand. "I can only say that to be on the safe side, you should wait at least 6 months before opening such a knee. You are welcome, of course, to another opinion." "Thank you very much," I said. "I value your opinion." The first captain looked at his watch. "We must go," he said. "All my best wishes." "All my best wishes, and many thanks," I said. I shook hands with the third doctor. "Capitano Varini, Tenente Henry," and they all three went out of the room. "Miss Gage," I called. She came in. "Please ask the house doctor to come back a minute." He came in holding his cap and stood by the bed. "Did you wish to see me?" "Yes, I can't wait 6 months to be operated on. My God, doctor, did you ever stay in bed 6 months?" "You won't be in bed all the time. We must first have the wounds exposed to the sun. Then afterward you can be on crutches." "For 6 months, and then have an operation?" "That is the safe way. The foreign bodies must be allowed to insist, and the synovial fluid will reform. Then it will be safe to open up the knee." "Do you really think yourself I will have to wait that long?" "That is the safe way." "Who is that first captain?" "He's a very excellent surgeon of Milan." "He's a first captain, isn't he?" "Yes, but he is an excellent surgeon." "I don't want my leg fooled with by a first captain. If he was any good he would be made a major. I know what a first captain is, doctor." "He is an excellent surgeon, and I would rather have his judgment than any surgeon I know." "Could another surgeon see me?" "Certainly, if you wish, but I would take Dr. Varella's opinion myself." "Can you ask another surgeon to come and see it?" "I will ask Valente to come." "Who is he?" "He is the surgeon of the Ospedale Maggiore." "Good. I appreciate it very much. You understand, doctor, I couldn't stay in bed 6 months." "You would not be in bed. You would first take a sun cure. Then you will have light exercise. Then, when it was insisted, we would operate." "But I can't wait 6 months." The doctor spread his delicate fingers on the cap he held and smiled. "You are in such a hurry to get back to the front?" "Why not?" "It is very beautiful," he said. "You are a noble young man." He stooped over and kissed me very delicately on the forehead. "I will send for Valente. Do not worry and excite yourself. Be a good boy." "Will you have a drink?" I asked him. "No, thank you. I never drink alcohol." "Just have one." I rang for the porter to bring glasses. "No, no, thank you. They are waiting for me." "Goodbye," I said. "Goodbye." 2 hours later, Dr. Valente came into the room. He was in a great hurry, and the points of his mustache stood straight up. He was a major. His face was tanned, and he laughed all the time. "How did you do it, this rotten thing?" he asked. "Let me see the plates. Yes, that's it. You look healthy as a goat. Who's the pretty girl? Is she your girl? I thought so. Isn't this a bloody war? How does that feel? You're a fine boy. I'll make you better than new. Does that hurt?" "You bet it hurts. How they love to hurt you, these doctors. What have they done for you so far? Can't that girl talk Italian? She should learn. What a lovely girl. I could teach her. I will be a patient here myself. No, but I will do all your maternity work free. Does she understand that? She will make you a fine boy. A fine blonde like she is. That's fine. That's all right. What a lovely girl. Ask her if she eats supper with me. No, I won't take her away from you. Thank you. Thank you very much, miss. That's all." "That's all I wanted to know." He patted me on the shoulder. "Leave the dressings off." "Will you have a drink, Dr. Valente?" "A drink? Certainly. I will have 10 drinks. Where are they?" "In the armoire. Miss Barkley will get the bottle." "Cheerio. Cheerio to you, miss. What a lovely girl. I will bring you better cognac than that." He wiped his mustache. "When do you think it can be operated on?" "Tomorrow morning. Not before. Your stomach must be emptied. You must be washed out. I will see the old lady downstairs and leave instructions. Goodbye. I see you tomorrow. I'll bring you better cognac than that. You are very comfortable here? Goodbye. Until tomorrow. Get a good sleep. I'll see you early." He waved from the doorway. His mustaches went straight up. His brown face was smiling. There was a star in a box on his sleeve because he was a major.